So guys, today we're just going to talk about Ultimate Cup itself. We have modified rules in effect for it that might become major permanent rules, but oh my goodness, let's talk about it. So let's talk about the Ultimate Cup. As you know, that went live today. We had Core TCG and Carta Magica both launched their registrations. We knew about this. Well, last minute, Top Cut decided to come in at the last 30-second mark and go like, hey, we're also going to do the 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, letting nobody know that was happening. So like, really, guys? What was your logic behind that? This should not have happened on today. If this should have been an announcement, yes, I know Top Cut was announced really late that they were going to host something April 30th, but really, you guys had no better timing to drop that? Let's drop it the same size time as Carta does, and now don't let anybody know about it, because I was left field out of the ballpark for that, so I missed out on Top Cut. And then Core TCG's system with the Discord was acting wonky, so I missed out on that. Luckily, I got onto Carta, but I got out of 1 out of the 3, and I know a lot of players, it instantly sold out in like seconds. I was hearing Core got sold out within like 25 seconds flat, and that's, to be honest with you, should not have happened. There's something wonky with that. You cannot tell me within seconds something sells out that fast. Even with a 500 player cap, if there was 500, I think it's 200 and something. But these things should be multiple companies. I mean, you could have Carta, PPG, Core TCG, Top Cut. Start branching out. I think the biggest issue or underlying here is that, yes, the online events are fantastic to be able to get these fantastic prizes, but I think more events should happen. I think more events on that weekend. You have multiple, you have Carta, Core, Top Cut, but make it restrictive or something where, make it harder for players to just multi-enter and verify steps. I mean, there's ways of doing this with fixing some of this issues, but I think overall we should be able to, by this time in the year, we've had almost going into 2 years with this card game, we've had enough knowledge to know how to function this way of going about things. I mean, look at what we had the issue with the regionals. I mean, nationals. That was a bloody shit show. they had bots sign in. There was people signing in that weren't even registered. And with the first 30 seconds, how do you even do that? It should have been anybody with an invite. There was no verification checks. Bandai, what are you doing? There's just so much wrong with what you guys are handling this, and how some of these tournament organizers are not handling this properly. You guys need to step up your game on certain aspects like this. I think also major things should start changing, and one is, do you guys remember when we had this is the Ultimate Cup anyway, but like store events, let's get to it. Not DigiFest, finals, nope. Store championships. Remember that? The biggest issue was the cap. 16 players, special store participation packs. I think these should be unlimited. Stores should be able to host as big as events they can, and especially if you can give them enough time to get the venues large enough. I mean, if you give them a month or two, I think locals in-person events, these things could get up to like 200 players, 300 players easily. And if they can set up a designated area, they'll be happy to host kind of these events. I think you need to start having store championships like this where they're no longer caps. Eliminate these cap things. I think capping is ridiculous. Stores should be able to handle the events on how they need to be able to handle it. I get that Ultimate Cups, we will have another round in July and November, but you're still going to be facing the same issues, and that is multiple people can sign up if they have bots, automated systems, and stuff like that. They need to put like more regulations inside it just so that it isn't so easy for people to sign up. I think regulating it to be more advanced will definitely help out, but I also think these events should also start reaching in-person events. I can tell you this right now, Austin sold out first, but when DigiFest finally, was getting closer to Miami, it sold out the weekend before because it wasn't cheap. You have to put in air travel, hotel stays, so start incorporating big events. I mean, PPG does a fantastic job. Give them credit. At the end of the day, they do phenomenal work, and I'm really impressed by them being able to do all the cons. They go always sending a representative out and just presenting themselves and making sure tournaments go smoothly, making sure the prize support goes. All this fantastic stuff they do for the community is really great. And I think that all in all, it's positively going in the right way. Just we need more offline events to supplement these online events that, players can't always get to fill out. Yes, I get that there are collectors that are just money hungry, and these Demi Vmon promos are going to go like the Coromon promos, $90 a pop. Just telling this right now, do not expect these to ever be cheap. You're going to see these things expensive. The Vmon Alternate Arts, X Vmons, this is going to be an expensive set of cards, and you're just going to have to deal with it. I'm promising you, this card will probably start $90 coming out, and you're praying you get it. So, just letting you know, you're not going to see any cheap stuff. So let's talk about the modified rules updates that the Ultimate Cups will be following. So first off, we have mulligans. After a player has placed their security, draw their starting hands, they may review their hands and mulligan. To mulligan, place all cards from your hand to the bottom of your deck. Do not shuffle, do not replace your security cards, and then draw 5 new cards from the top. So you cannot mulligan anymore after that. So basically, you can't keep mulliganing until you've seen your whole deck. Understandable. Now, let's talk about offline events. The only offline event I know is Italy, because Italy has loved to do offline events for the longest time, and I'm giving them major props to that. I really appreciate them for doing this. But, side decks, players are permitted to bring their main decks to 50s cards and a side deck of 5 cards. Well, we were in DigiFest at 10. Well, now we're down to 5. So what does that really signify? I think that's a great positive step. Yes, I know other card games are at 15, but the problem comes down with Digimon is that you can replace engines almost at 10. There are complete deck mode shifts at 10. And I think 10 right now is just a little too much for benefit purposes as what it needs to be. I think side decks may include main decks and Digi Egg cards. The limit on copies of cards with the same card number that can be included applies to the total number of cards in your deck and side. So basically, same rule, 4 copies of said set number. So you can't have 5 copies of XYZ. Just keep that at how that goes. The content of the side decks are considered a secret area and should not be shown to the opponent. Both players should count out their side cards in view of the opponent to confirm how many cards are in at the start of each match. Your side deck may return to your deck for safekeepings, but you must keep it on the table in view of both players. So basically, can't just be jamming in having multiple card sleeves of the same color, because people will do that. Oh my goodness, that's ridiculous. But people will cheat for the sake of cheating. But just make sure you show your opponent that you have 5 or 10, whatever the rules are, but they'll keep constantly modifying this to find that happy equilibrium where players can honestly say, I like this. But I think 5 is good. I think it's a good starting point. So the contents of the side decks are considered, you know, at the end of each game in a match, players may swap out their decks from their side decks. The same number of cards must be swapped in between each deck. The quantity of both cards must remain the same before and after siding, basically present that you're at 5. Please keep the time between games to under 3 minutes. All preparation for the next game and exchanging of cards between main and side must be carried out within the 3 minutes. Okay. See, basic rules there is players may be penalized if a judge determines them to be wasting time in between games, which is very plausible. Before a start of the game, if a player has a side deck, they should present it to their opponent face down. Number of cards in the side deck is public information, but a player is not required to reveal how many cards were swapped between the decks. So you do not have to tell your opponent that you took 4 cards and you swapped them in and out. You do not. That's not public information. And a lot of players got upset with me even when I said, no, I don't have to tell you how many cards I put in. If I put in 4 cards and I took out 4 cards, you don't have that information. You can watch me, but if you did not notice me do that, that's not public information of me how many cards I took out. And you don't have to give your opponent that. And I think that's fantastic because it's really not public information what you might be doing. Players are not permitted to view their side deck's contents during a game. So basically, if you forgot what you side decked in and what you took out, you cannot look in your deck and go like, well, I'm screwed. You know, at the end of the match, players must return their decks, side decks to the originals. If a player receives a game loss penalty prior to start the first game, players are not allowed to switch cards out of their side deck before the start of game 2. Basically, you're counting that game 2 as game 1. So that's just how that's going to go. So just remember that I think Bandai needs to step up their game. I think they're doing great with these testing of modified rules, and I think they're trying to do the right thing. I think they're doing positive on the right, but they're backpedaling on the left as well. I think they need to get full force, both head. I think we need some more stabilized ground here. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace!